cooks. She cooks very
Oh.
well. Wait, is it over? STO, single taken.
No.
Man, this should be on TV.
Will there be a season 2 of Single Taken Other? Hi, welcome back to the Flo Journal. So I'm your host, Fadeke Banjo. I'm a journalist and storyteller, digital storyteller here in the UK. And I have the amazing opportunity to speak to the creators of the hit web series Single Taken Other, Shelly and Tanya, all the way from Miami. Excited about this conversation. We're going to kind of do some icebreaker questions. What are 3 interesting facts about you two that most people don't know? And to make things quite interesting, you both are going to say like 3 interesting facts about each other.
I'll go first. Okay, Ellie is a cook. She cooks very well.
Okay.
Cooks. She cooks very well.
Wait,
Is it over?
wait, is it over?
Okay, I won't time you guys because I thought 10 seconds was kind of long, but it's not.
So thinking.
Things that the people don't know. She played saxophone in middle school and high school.
Alto sax. You sure did.
Oh, there's so many things.
One more.
I know. I'm just trying to think what's appropriate.
Bruh.
Shelly loves to travel. Like out of most of the people in our family, she's been more places than all of us.
Okay. Tanya, she's a self-taught writer. She ain't know none of this stuff before we started. My girl she's in the books. She's a little hard.
See?
It's a little hard. Well, going on the instruments, she plays the flute and the piccolo. And she was also in marching band in the Marching 100 at FAMU University.
Oh.
It's a very prestigious HBCU.
Okay.
It's an HBCU here in Florida, yeah.
She went to one of the black schools. I didn't get to do that. And what the people don't know, she doesn't like to fly.
I do not.
Hey.
If it's over an hour and a half,
She's like, not today.
it's a no-go.
I mean, I have.
She will.
We've gone to California and we've gone to Hawaii one time, but those have probably been the longest flights. I don't want to be in the air.
I wanna go!
It stresses her. If it's over 2 hours, it's
High key.
Yeah. Seem to have like a close sister relationship that you know a lot about each other. And the next question is, since you guys are based in Miami, what is your favorite Miami or Jamaican saying? Because I know you guys are also Jamaican, so yeah.
I
think my favorite saying is "You're bright."
And it's more of a question. It's more of a sarcastic question because it really means like you're being rude or you're being kind of cheeky.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Almost like you're being. It's something that your parents say to you when you're like speaking out of turn or like just like, why are you talking like that kind of thing. Favorite Jamaican saying.
What's appropriate?
I'll just pick like big things are going like you're doing big things, you're doing a lot of stuff. Like
We've been hearing that lately.
Things are happening for you, so I'll go with that.
Okay, no, I like that because the reason why I kind of brought about the like Jamaican or Miami saying, obviously you guys are based in Miami, but family are Jamaican, I believe. Yeah, and in the UK we also have like a huge Jamaican like community. I'm Nigerian, but in South London you see a lot of like Jamaicans. You kind of pick up the slang and the patois.
We haven't been to London yet, but we have heard and understood that there's like a good large Caribbean Jamaican culture up there, so yeah,
definitely. And the last icebreaker question before we dive into your guys' web series is, what is your number one favorite web series that you've watched from another Black creator, or any all-time favorite Black TV show or movie, past or present? Like, yeah.
So for me, web series wise, the first, not I won't say first, but one of the ones that I really loved was called First.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
It was called First.
Watched it.
So
Yeah.
You watched
so
it?
good, right?
Yes, loved it.
That web series.
I think that web series kind of got our. We were
like
oh.
So I saw like what Issa was doing with Awkward Black Girl at the time, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, and I was at the time, even outside of, then I started seeing stuff from her production company, Issa Rae Production.
Yeah.
And Black and Sexy TV, that was another group of people that were doing web series. Tough Love was another series that was out. So there were a lot of them, but First was the one that really like made me feel like, oh shoot, I could write something like this. We could do something like this. So I would say that would be favorite. I would think now, as far as Black TV goes, Insecure is, I could watch that.
Still do. I watch it like as much as I watch The Office.
It's really good because I really feel like it did a great job of talking about Black people as human beings, one, first and foremost, but then also just like that age where we are now, your 30s, trying to figure out life, trying to, like, I really appreciate that show. Yeah, I would say that for sure.
Those are two good picks. Speaking of your web series,
STO, Single Taken
No, I also am a huge fan of web series, and came across your web series and I was like, this looks interesting. I loved the first episode and I couldn't wait like each week for the next episode to be uploaded.
They was honest about it. Like, we gotta wait a week, and I'm like, you gotta wait.
And the first question I was going to ask is that for those who haven't had the chance of watching your web series yet, they really should, but how would you best describe the series in 3 words?
3 words?
Yeah.
3 words. Okay. Drama. I would say authentic or real in that way, like just and fun. Yeah, funny.
It's
yes, it is.
And also relatable.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've all had relationships
that have, yeah.
Bruh.
Second question is, what was the inspiration behind the web series? How did you come up with the name and the concept of the series?
So when we first came up with the web series, we were kind of just shooting around ideas, I think, a little bit. We, trying to get projects done. But I think at the time, also, high key, a lot of things were going on with our friends. A lot of things were going on with us. Maybe, yeah, a little bit. And so we just started talking about how, like, the things that you guys talk about in your friend group, like with boys, relationships, whatever, across the board are like hilarious. Sometimes it's hurtful, sometimes it's painful, like, all of that. But it just felt like, man, this should be on TV.
That's really how it was, because it was like, we were just like, man, we could write a story about this. And we would just say those things like randomly, like something would happen. We'd be like, this is just a movie. This is a movie right here. Like, we need cameras following us.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well,
let's put something together. And so I think at the time too, again, Insecure was out. Other friend group shows too, like 20s was out. Harlem just recently came out. And so we were just talking about like a friend group going through adulting and dealing with the ups and downs of the relationships that they are having. And so that's kind of where that idea came from, talking out like, what are the possible, scenarios? What are some of the, like Shelly said, relatable things that you really do go through in some of your relationships? Either you've been through yourself or your friends have gone through or whatnot. And so we kind of just started from there. Well, like, to bring it from idea actually to production and get it up on YouTube and everything. The original name for the show we had was Situationships.
So that's why in the first episode, the character Taryn, she gives that whole synopsis of what a situationship is, because that's what we were gonna name it. But during filming, we're trying to make sure we do our due diligence in making sure that the name was still good, because we were getting close to being done, and we were like, okay, so let's just go back on YouTube, because we had gone on YouTube before just to check the name out, see if any other web series, and we saw one called Situation. Was it called Situation?
I think it was called Situation. Yeah.
Or they were, but it was like maybe like 2 or 3 years before what we were doing. So we were like, there's enough gap there. But then when we went back, we realized that they had been picked up, but
they trademarked the name.
They trademarked the name.
So there were when we checked YouTube as far as web series go, that one, I had to search for that one. That one popped up. But then since our last search for them, they were on BET's, before BET Plus. So they were on BET's website. They also got picked up on Tubi, on something else. And then there was one other web series called Situationship, like they split the name or something like that. So, but more so, the first web series had trademarked the name. And so we were like, if we were going to do anything beyond just YouTube with the web series, we would need to trademark a name as well. We would need to do all these like legal things. And so being that they had already done that with the name, then we were like, okay, so now we need to
went back to the drawing board,
rename the web series. And it was fine because we were still like Shelly said, we were in the end of production, so going into post. So technically we were putting out little things to say that we're coming out with a web series, but there was nothing that was official about the name as far as like promo goes, you know what I mean? So we still had time, which was good to actually change it. I would have been more horrified if we would have done everything situationships and then find out, you know. So it was good that we found out when we found out. So we ended up changing the name to Single Taken Other, and that was Shelly's idea, because just thinking about the girls, it's kind of like, what's your relationship status? And 9 times out of 10, those are what your categories are. As either you're single, either you're taking, or you're somewhere.
And then the other would be situationships,
right? But even if like you're dealing with somebody, some title,
there's no clear gray areas all around.
So then we changed the name. So that was that.
And you know, sometimes like we were throwing around names. And then it's like when I said, what about like Single Taken Other, you know, because I was really thinking about like when you're in when you're younger and you get like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, and they hand you the note, will you be my girlfriend? Check yes, no, or maybe. So that's also why we have like the check marks on our title around, because sometimes you might think you're this, but you might really actually be this. So you really just you got to get in that black and white era.
No, I feel like the title is very fitting, like with the series, and I guess it's also a great tip for like upcoming filmmakers to do the due diligence to see, is this title like trademark? That's really important. And Tanya, I know that you are the kind of main writer for capisheproductions projects, so I was going to ask you, who was your favorite character to write about for this series and why?
I think my favorite character, I feel like, was Kara. Just because I feel like I was able to push a lot of information through her, because she's the one that likes to read people. You know, when she first meets Gary in that second episode, she's explaining what gentrification is. When she meets the guy at the club, she's saying to him like, y'all want to be kings and want kings and don't. When she's talking to Gary on their first date, she's able to say like, I can, you know, as a woman, you can decide what you want to do with your body, So I feel like, and she's always the person that has like the witty jokes and stuff like that. When the girls are always around, she's always the person that has like the line to say something funny. So I think her character was my favorite.
Oh no, that's really good. She kind of reminds me of like Maxine Shaw from Living Single. Shelly, so do you have any core memories on set filming this series? And who was the most funny or annoying person part of the like Single Taken Other cast?
I think a lot of the core memories that I have on set, unfortunately we didn't get to capture it. A lot of times off camera, we were doing everything. But
I won't say everything, but we do a lot. behind the camera.
Just about everything. But we would, somebody would say something, because most of us on set are Black or in Caribbean. So somebody would say something and it would like spark a song, and everybody would start singing. Like it could just be something silly, and a whole song is everybody singing it for the next 3 minutes, and we're like, okay guys, we gotta get back. So those are probably my favorite moments. What was the second question?
The second question was like, who was the most funny or annoying or just had a big personality in terms of in the cast?
That would also be the person that played Kara. That would be Danielle. Kara is Danielle in her bigness and like how personality and how she is. She was definitely the one that kept us on our toes the most. When she comes on set, it's always fun. It's laughs, and it's like, say the line, because of how she is. We're like, okay,
can we just?
So she was probably. I mean, everybody on set is great, but
yeah.
To be fair, sorry, Gary, the guy who played Gary Leonard, he was the exact same way. So like his character's a lot more, but he is them together was.
You have to. Okay, guys,
let's reel it back.
10 more minutes. We only have 2 more scenes. You know, like
both pretty.
So, but it was always a good time. Everybody's professional though.
Yeah.
No, that's again. I know that Shelly, you are not only part of like the co-creator of this series, but you're an actress yourself, and you feature in this series. So, do you relate to any of Taryn's like love life, or just how she like went about in the series? Do you relate to her, or relate to any of the girls from the friendship group?
Yes, Taryn. Taryn is. Taryn is definitely based off of, I would say, us in like, we really wanted, husbands when we were starting out dating, and like you meet a guy and you're like, oh my God, is this him? Oh my gosh, I mean, did I finally meet my husband?
I can't wait to get to my man. Like, that's the love of my life.
And they weren't. Until I met my fiance. But Taryn is definitely us in that we grew up in church and just trying to figure out, because our parents, they're very Christian, and they're in church all day on Sunday and very strict, and you gotta wear skirts, you can't wear pants, very. So now, being a second generation or first generation in the States, American, it's different now. So it's just trying to figure out, okay, well, I like R&B too. I love gospel, but I like R&B, and I want to go to the club and hang out, and it's finding out what your Christianity means to you, and what you learned in the morals that have been instilled, and how that works for your life, and trying to also make sure that you're still doing the things that you need to do as a Christian. So I would definitely say Taryn is the person that is me in all things, because but I will say I wasn't texting nobody about being my husband. No marriage jokes. No, that wasn't me. I mean, maybe the second month, but But
I feel like it was really kind of refreshing to see like a Christian millennial character, because I think sometimes with a lot of like Hollywood movies or TV shows, it's like very like stereotypical like Christian person that's just like, all the bad Christian jokes or something. But I feel like she was very relatable and down to earth, so I kind of related to her to like a certain extent. So.
I think one of the things that we wanted to make sure was that we were being real about your walk. In a lot of like Christian movies or even shows, everything is very like, oh, just pray and talk to God, and those are things that are obviously true. But we wanted to, in your day-to-day life, we wanted to show what that really looks like, and that you're figuring stuff out, like Shelly said, and that sometimes you're gonna get it right and sometimes you're not. But there's still grace there. There's still openness there for you to get back on the straight and narrow. And so we wanted to show that, you know, people, human beings are flawed people, even Christians, and that we have to figure out what that means for us when we're things that, you know, a lot of it comes with when you just start to mature and, like Shelly said, hone in on the things that are important to you, hone in on the things that you want to do, hone on the things that you want in your relationship. But that there's a learning process before you get to all of it. So we wanted to try to make sure that we were true about showing what that really means.
Yeah. No, I really liked the representation and just how relatable it was. Like I'm a Christian myself, so like kind of like related to some things that Tan went through. The series kind of has a lot of couples or potential couples. Are there any couples that you are rooting for? It could be couples that were, I guess, existed in the series, or those that were potentially gonna form. Like, yeah,
I was rooting mostly for, I would say, Kara and Gary. Just because they seem to have a healthier relationship, like, you know, in the sense that Gary wasn't there to be malicious. He wasn't there with like any intention of being like toxic, you know what I mean? Like, and so it was really Kara trying, like, her letting down her guard enough to allow this person to, you know, be the person that you want to be with. And so I was probably rooting for them the most.
And how about you, Shelly?
I wasn't rooting for any of them, honestly. I was rooting for them in their decisions that they were made to be better people.
Yeah.
But for the relationships, I think the people, I mean, this is toxic, and I know, but I loved Monica and Nick. I loved the drama of it because
So the drama, Mick, I just love it.
like, girl, like, really, I wasn't rooting for them to like be together or anything, but sometimes I root for the drama, the toxicity. You know, because I had a teacher, an acting coach, Leslie Ann. She would always say, "Well, nobody wants to watch people having a good day. So what's the reason? What's driving the force?" So I loved how Monica would just not make good decisions, and her friends would call her out on that. So the relationships I was rooting for were the girls being closer together and getting smarter in who they choose to date.
Definitely. And it's true. There are some couples that I just thought, why are you guys still together? And
What was the reason?
I feel like that towards the end, not to spoil anything, but I guess we saw a lot of growth in the friendship group and the individuals kind of knowing their worth, obviously. So yeah, it was really like cool to see. And how did you guys and the cast celebrate when the single Taken Other premiered on YouTube for the first time?
So we did a premiere party before the first episode went up. So we did a small premiere party with the cast and crew. We showed them the first 2 episodes, so that was the first time they saw any of it. They didn't get to see any of it, and the rest of the episodes were the first time the cast and crew got to see episodes 3 through 7. Yeah. So they only got to see 1 and 2. But yeah, we had a premiere party, and we wanted to make sure that
indie premiere party. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was just, like I said, cast and crew, some of our friends and family, close friends and family, and you know, had little goodies to eat or whatnot. And we were nervous because this is their first time seeing themselves on camera, seeing it all together and everything. But they really enjoyed it. Like, it was a really good night, and we were proud to be able to show them that. And even after even as the weeks went on, they were glad to see like how the story developed and everything like that. So it was good. It turned out well.
Oh, that's cool. And I know that recently you guys announced that you the web series won you guys 2 awards from the Exception Film Festival this year for Best Comedic Series and Pitch Competition Grant winner. So how did you guys, like, how's your initial feelings or reactions when you heard that news? And yeah, how did you guys celebrate?
I think, honestly, every time we the Exception Fest was the second festival that we actually got an award for. The first one was the Urban Film Festival, which is local here to Miami. And I feel like even in the both times, we've just kind of been like stunned a little. Like it's one of those things where it's like you're super proud of what you did, but to get recognition from other people as well, to be like, this was well done, well enough to give an award to. It's just, I don't know. For me, I think Shelly too, but we're always just like in awe a little bit, like, oh man, like people enjoyed what we put together. And so I'm just ultimately proud about it. I'm always like in shock, like we won. Us?
They liked us.
Because there are people who are doing a lot of there are other filmmakers who are doing a lot of work, a lot of people who have more funding than we do, a lot of people who have bigger teams than we do. And so for us to, on some level be able to be seen, I feel like we appreciate it and we're proud of what we're doing. And it helps reinforce that, like, we made some good choices, we made some good decisions when it came to putting the things together, and the things that we worked really hard with, like cutting stuff and changing things. Those things ultimately paid off because we're able to actually win some awards. So it's been really good to get some acknowledgement for that.
And imposter syndrome is real. And like even with you reaching out to us and wanting, we're like, oh,
somebody want to interview us?
Like, wow, something here. So it really does feel good. It's validating. And not that we need validation because we're proud of our work, but it still is validating. Right. So
yeah, definitely. And it's inspiring because, again, you guys are independent, like, production company. Like, even being able to create your own production company, doing it independently, sorting out your own funding and just believing in your dreams, and then to be kind of like people seeing that and being recognized for that, I think that's inspiring. The next question is, so a lot of fans of the show are wondering, and me included, will there be a season 2 of Single Taken Other?
So we are in the process of writing season 2. We're talking about story. We're trying to figure out where these characters are going. We're trying to do all of that. So we are in the process of writing. I won't say only, the major thing with independent filmmaking is gotta have the funds to get the stuff done. So this first season, we did do a little bit of crowdfunding to try to help with some of the funding for it. The rest of it came out of our pockets. And so having to do that again is just going to take a little time. Like I said, Shelly's getting married. So but what we are going to try to do this year, that we said that we wanted to try to focus on trying to apply for grants. There are filmmaking grants that we're looking into or whatnot. We probably might have to do another round of crowdfunding. So we're trying to figure out what the year looks like, figure out how we can secure funding in order to start filming. So there's no set date or anything, but it's definitely on the books as far as like we're at least writing the scripts. That's the first thing that has to happen anyway before we can do anything. So, but in the meantime, while we're putting the scripts and stuff together, we are going to figure out how we can get funding to do a second season.
And while still trying to do like film festivals for season 1 to see if we can procure any more competition money or other people that may want to invest or
help us, whatever the case may be. Because a lot of things too is like you may not need money, but if you have other people who are willing to help, like with their share their equipment, film for do certain things, those things can also be almost like a barter trading system, like I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. And so we're looking to try to do more networking with other filmmakers as well to see how we can help each other. So
No, that's great, and I'm like excited about season 2, and I hope all the best in terms of like you guys getting the funding and just getting the support that you guys need. Kind of, I guess, tagline or mission is that you want to talk about stories, unrepresented stories by Black people and people of color. Why is that important to you guys?
I think it's important to us because a lot of times people want to see themselves on TV. You want to be able to see stories that you can relate to, like we were saying about Single Taken Other. And what you also hate is to see misrepresentation of the person or groups that you identify with as well. And so I think that we wanted to make sure to focus on telling stories by Black people, by Black people, or sorry, people of color, because those stories are very far and few in between. I think maybe just recently we started getting a good abundance of like good stories, and it not just being like Black trauma or like slavery or like we want to be able to be seen as people who are working, people who have jobs, people who have kids, people who have relationships, people who have families, because we're all human, you know what I mean? And we don't want to be narrowed into some of these stories that, some people only get their information from storytelling and shows. And so they think they know Black people because they've seen this show, or they think they know, Hispanic people because whatever it is, like they think they know groups of people because of what they watch. And so we wanted to make sure that we did our due diligence in telling stories that were relatable with Black faces, because we're human beings too. And so that was important for us to be able to make sure that we convey in our storytelling.
One of the tagline for the Flo Journal is inspiring the storyteller in you. So what does being a storyteller mean to you?
I love consuming stories.
Yeah.
Shelly's an avid reader as well. I could have said that too. Like, I feel like we love consuming stories, that it was almost innate for us to tell stories ourselves. So for me, being a storyteller is being able to share experiences, being able to share information, all while being entertaining and making it so much so that you're invested in our world, invested in our characters. And so that's something that we just love to consume. And so that's something that we want to put out as well. So I think that's what storytelling is for us.
And I think it's also nice to be able to take a step out of your own reality of what's going on in your own life. And even if it's something relatable, it's still lighthearted fun where you could probably learn something, or just, it's just taking you completely out, and you can just like, I don't have to worry about the bills I gotta pay, the inflation that's going on. I can just,
it's an escape.
It's an escape. I can just be here for however long this thing is and just enjoy it, put my phone down and just be wrapped up in this world. And I've always loved that. Like from when we were younger, we would just like watch movies over and over and over again. And, we say movie titles to each other. Like we're always, not movie titles, like movie lines. And we're like, what movie is that? And it's been a part of our life. So just telling stories it almost is, I'm surprised we didn't do it earlier.
Right. Honestly.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And in terms of like how people can connect with you, could you let us know like how we can connect with you online?
Well, we mostly post on social media. Our IG, of course, is capisheproductions. But that's how you can get in touch with us. Our information is on there. We do have a website, www.capisheproductions.com. You can always send a message through there. You can always send us email, and you can follow us on social media. That's where we're trying to engage as much as possible with the people who are following us, to let them know what we're doing and to let them know what's upcoming for us as well.
Thanks again for this great conversation / interview, and just getting to know you guys a bit more. Your story is honestly inspiring in terms of how you started your production company together and what you guys are doing as well in terms of representation, bringing funny, entertaining and relatable stories. I hope all the best for you guys in the future.
No, thank you. We appreciate you for reaching out to us and interviewing.
And all the best to you in the Flo Journal.
Yeah,
thank you.
Hope that you guys you get very big and be like, oh yes, we interviewed with her. 2023, we already have an established connection.
Thank you so much. And in terms of watching Single Taken Other, follow the YouTube channel, capisheproductions YouTube channel, and you'll find the season series Single Taken Other to watch, as well as short films that you guys have uploaded on YouTube as well. So yeah.
Thank you.